but I am the founder of The Compelling Why, an organization, nonprofit organization based here in Dallas, where we aim to motivate and inspire students of promise, young people like you, to create your best reality. You see, I've had tremendous experiences and opportunities in my life, tremendous number. Some may say I may have had or having a halfway decent career. And that's what I want for all of you. That's what I want for all of you. You see, I grew up in Paterson, New Jersey. It's a city just 30 minutes outside of New York City. I'm the son of 2 high school teachers who grew up in the segregated South, but raised 3 children, all of whom earned their college degrees. Now, don't get me wrong, we didn't grow up with everything that we wanted. We didn't. But we had everything that we needed. One of the things I want to share with you, I had the same insecurities that many of you are facing right now, and probably even more intensified because of social media. You know, I was trying to figure out, am I smart enough? Am I good looking enough? Am I wearing the right clothes? And I'll tell you, the nervousness I felt asking for that girl for her number. Is she gonna laugh in my face? Is she gonna go back and tell her friends and they're gonna laugh at me? I mean, those same insecurities that many of you may be facing today. But the other thing that I remember and that I know for a fact is that it's important to be actively engaged in what you do. So in terms of being engaged and focusing on your activities, here's another message I want to share with you. And let me do this because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss some important points for you. You know, being a shy kid and an introvert, and I know we're going to hear it from a speaker later today that's going to talk to you about some tips of overcoming some of that. But the other thing that I want to share with you, the compelling why, it's my side hustle, right? What do I mean by that? My day job is as Senior Director of Global Community Affairs for Fluor Corporation. I also serve as the President of the Fluor Foundation, right? So what I have to do is, in terms of Fluor, and for some of you, you probably don't realize or recognize what Fluor is because we're not a household name, but we work with governments and clients from around the world to design, build, and maintain challenging, complex capital projects. So what does he mean by capital projects? Think oil refineries for ExxonMobil or Chevron Phillips. We help build those. Think roadways and bridges. One of our signature projects, the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge in Northern California. Think the Tappan Zee Bridge just north of New York City. That's one we're actively building now. Or think about just right here in Dallas, what's called the Horseshoe Project. That's the roadway and bridge work that's happening along I-30 and I-35 across the Trinity River. You know, that's a Fluor project. And I've had, like I said earlier, many experiences working with Fluor. But some of the things that I enjoyed the most is being able to travel, because I have global responsibility. I have global responsibility in managing our community footprint, doing good in the community. Grants to nonprofit organizations, like Mary Orsack's Story Power that you're gonna hear a little bit later, like our community corporate volunteer efforts. Those are the things I manage. And I've had opportunities over the past 30 years to travel internationally. One of my favorite trips is the one I made to the Middle East. Visited Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, and Dubai. And then the next week, we ended up going to Johannesburg, South Africa. And while in the Middle East, I had the chance to visit the Burj Khalifa Tower, the tallest building in the world. And when in Johannesburg, had the opportunity after spending the week doing the Fluor work, my colleagues took me out and we had an opportunity to go on a cultural tour of Johannesburg, where we visited the homes of Nelson Mandela, which were now museums. We visited Constitution Hill, which was the the location, and where Mandela was jailed prior to him being sent to Robben Island for prison for a couple of decades. So those type of cultural experience and opportunities that a young kid from Paterson, New Jersey, son of 2 high school teachers, would not have had the opportunity or be prepared to take advantage of if I didn't have the secret formula. The secret formula. And that's what I want to share with you today, the secret formula. Tell the truth, it's not that secret. Number one, you have to value your education. Education is the new currency of the 21st century. It is the great equalizer in America. It's your ticket into the games of commerce, career, and opportunity. So what does valuing your education look like today in middle school? What does it look like? How many of you, show of hands, how many of you are in 8th grade? Good number of you. Over the next couple of months, you're going to sit down with your counselor and you're going to map out your high school courses for that freshman year. What you need to do is seek out those honors courses, those pre-advanced placement courses, those AP courses. If you're at a school that offers international baccalaureate, those IB courses. Those are the courses that are going to prepare you for success, prepare you to pursue and achieve those dreams that you have. It's your education. What else does it look like for you to value and pursue your education? It's being actively engaged in classroom discussions. Are you one sitting in the background, waiting for everyone else to answer? Or are you raising your hand, being engaged, being part of that conversation? Active engagement looks like raising your hand, being engaged. Are you putting as much time, energy, and effort in the courses that you don't like as in the courses that you do? It's that type of commitment. That's type of commitment that will prepare you for success. So education, new currency of the 21st century, you have to value it. Number two, this idea of self-motivation. With our organization, we call it your compelling why. And Mark Twain reminds us that the 2 most important days in your life, listen to this now, the 2 most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. What's your purpose? What's your purpose? Why are you here? Why are you here? Because it's your compelling why, your purpose, that will help sustain you in times of difficulty and doubt. And I don't care if you're in middle school, whether you're in high school, whether you're a dean of an engineering department, whether you're an executive at a Fortune 250 company, there will be times of difficulty and doubt. And you use that purpose to help anchor you. You use your purpose to help gird you when that peer pressure comes in and your friends that are trying to suggest that you do what you know is not the right thing. But you have that purpose. You're thinking in the future, what do I want to be? What do I want to do? Perhaps that will help you make even better decisions. Now, for me, my compelling why when I was your age is real simple. I just didn't want to disappoint my parents. You know, they had high expectations for myself and my 2 sisters. I just didn't want to disappoint. Also, I didn't want to be cold. Wait a minute, what does he mean? He didn't want to be cold. Now remember, I grew up in Paterson, New Jersey, in the Northeast. It gets cold in the wintertime. I'm not talking about for 1 week or 2 weeks. I'm talking about frigid temperatures for months at a time. And because my parents were teachers, you know, not the highest income in the world, we had to live on a budget. So when the temperature got cold, we just didn't just turn up the heat. We had to keep it down. You know, we had on layers in the house. You know, so I wanted to get a good education, to get a good job, so I could turn up the heat when I wanted to. And my dad, God rest his soul, I wanted to drive a car that I was proud of driving. He owned a 1966 powder blue Chrysler with fishtails. Now, for those of you who don't know what fishtails are or fins are on a car, Google it and you'll see how hideous those things are. It was embarrassing riding around in that car. So I wanted to get a good education so I can get a good job, so I can ride around in a decent car. Not the high end, just a decent car. Now, your purpose, your compelling why may not just be always materialistic, but as you grow and mature, your compelling why, your purpose can change. And that's okay, it's to be expected. You know, for me, at my age today, I just want to make my family proud. Just want to make my family proud. My wife, Yvette, who's here today. Hey, Yvette. My children. And you realize that, you know what? We're not going to be here. I'm not going to be here forever. When it's all said and done, I want to leave something behind that's important, that's meaningful. And what better way? What better way than help to equip young people like you, students of promise, with the knowledge, the awareness of the things you need to do so you can create your best reality. So that's my purpose today. And I am very fortunate to work for a company that allows me to mash up and marry my personal passion with a compelling why with my corporate work with corporate social responsibility. So self-motivation, your compelling why, your purpose. Number 3, this idea of personal responsibility. Now, this is an important one now. You can have all the advantages in the world, all the advantages in the world. 2 parents that love you and care about you, 2 in the household. Siblings that have your back. Yeah, your brother may get on your nerves. Yeah, your sister can't stand it, but at the end of the day, you know they have your back and they care about you. You can have great school leadership, teachers that have your back and care about you, like the ones that accompanied you today to make sure you got here, the ones that asked perhaps and pushed you, encouraged you to attend today. You can have all those things, all of it. But you know, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter unless you take personal responsibility to do the work. Did you hear me? Take responsibility to do the work. So what does taking personal responsibility look like? Well, it looks like taking the most rigorous courses that your school has to offer as well. That's what it looks like. It looks like having the courage to stand up to peer pressure or to speak up for that classmate who's being bullied. That's what personal responsibility looks like. It looks like being unsatisfied with the mediocre and doing less than your best. I know it's difficult at times, and I know we push you as adults, but if you take it upon yourself to always try to do your best, that will put you in great position to create your best reality. Now, the last one I'll share with you is this idea of active engagement. And Reeve started out with that question. You see, what will further differentiate you from the competition and prepare you to create your best reality is meaningful participation in extracurricular activities, whether in your school or in your community. Let me be clear. I've spent 30 years in corporate America. I've sat in the C-suite when executives are talking about the workforce of the future and what type of talent that we need. I've been in those rooms. I know what my company needs. I know what various industries require. And one thing is indisputable to me, is clear, without question, without doubt in my mind. You need more than what's being taught to you between 8 and 3, Monday through Friday, between August and June. In other words, how you spend your time after school, how you spend your time on weekends, how you spend your time during the summer, all that matters. It matters immensely, immensely. So let me start or go to where Reeve started out. How many of you are involved in student government? Show of hands. How many are involved in student government? Excellent, excellent. That's what active engagement looks like. How many of you are involved with youth-serving organizations like Boys and Girls Clubs, or Girls Inc., or Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts? Outstanding. Reeves, yes, I like that. Reeves. I see some hands there. Excellent. Those are the types of things that you have to do. How many of you are involved with your school's robotics club? Oh, I love that. I love that. STEM, great skill sets to have. Outstanding. You know what? In closing, I know I need to wrap up. You're going to hear a lot of great speakers this morning, a lot of great speakers the rest of the day. But on your time, on your way home, in the car, in the bus, when you're speaking with your parents or your teachers or your friends, I want you to do me this favor. Are you listening to me? Do me this favor. I want you to take a moment, close your eyes, and envision your life in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. What do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? In order for you to have as many options as possible so that you can create your best reality, not your parents, not your teachers, but your best reality. You got to remember, you got to value that education. You got to begin trying to figure out your purpose. Why are you here? What gets you jazzed? You have to remember the idea of personal responsibility. You have to own it. You got to own it. And the fourth one, obviously, you have to get actively engaged, because that's the secret sauce. That's the seasoning. That's what makes a regular meal stand out, is when you have that extra seasoning. That's how you get exposed to new ideas, new experiences. You have to take that risk. And as a middle school student, it's challenging taking risks, because it's all about being part of the group. But you need to surround yourself with peers that are of like mind, that have goals for themselves. So with that, I appreciate your time and attention. Thank you much.